Welcome to the Living Without a Script podcast. I'm Candice.
I'm Gene.
We are a married couple of 16 plus years, and we're both on the Neuro-Spicy spectrum. This is our podcast.
It is. Suppose it is.
To let everyone know what we're here for.
Yeah. We are here basically to talk about our experiences. Kind of pretty much talk about whatever we want, right? And share share ideas with folks, and especially from our neurospicy perspective. And what this isn't necessarily like therapy or anything.
Now, we are not licensed therapists. We're not here to diagnose or do anything like that.
Far from that. Definitely not sort of therapists. Actually, we're two people from Jersey.
New York.
Yeah. Well, we live in Jersey now, which is awesome. But let's see. Yeah. What are the key things? We've been together for over 16 years. We've
late diagnosed autism, well, AuDHD for the both of us.
When did you get diagnosed?
2 years ago. 2 years ago for me.
And I got diagnosed shortly.
Months later, I think.
Shortly after you.
Even though you had the paperwork to get at least the ADHD diagnosis before me.
Yeah. That was sad. Oh, well, whatever.
I mean, talk about it. That's what this is for. Want?
I mean, we don't have to talk about it now. We'll get to that. Nobody even knows it yet. But why did we make this podcast? Why are we doing this now?
Because we've been together for 16 married, 17 together, and we kind of sucked at communicating. We didn't understand that. First off, we didn't know either one of us was neurospicy, and didn't know how to deal with all of our little quirks and features. And, after a while, my other mental health, because I've got PTSD, anxiety, depression, some other alphabets in there. And that led me to notice some things about myself. Then a mutual friend was like, oh yeah, I got evaluated for autism and I have it. And I'm like, oh, tell me about it. And she's like, oh yeah, it's this, this, and this. And I'm like, that's a lot like me. And then, the algorithms on social media, and they're like, oh yeah, here's some spicy reels. I'm like, wow, that really does sound like me. And then I got the evaluation and it confirmed my suspicions.
This turned from my story, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess once you got your diagnoses with the neurospiciness, started recognizing a lot of similar patterns, which made me go down that rabbit hole. Oh, I have some of these. And I talked to our psychiatrist about it, therapist about it. They were pretty much it was pretty conclusive. This is the best way I could put it.
You passed your test with flying colors.
Yeah. So yeah, we were both 35 when we were.
We're 36 now? 30, I don't even remember.
7?
Yeah, so 35.
Yeah, 2 years ago, yeah. So why... Definitely for me, going through therapy, I realized very quickly that, I've kind of pretty much known it's really difficult for me to share stuff, express emotions. So going through therapy the last couple of years really at least kind of helped me come out of that shell a bit, which was which is nice. But I still would generally struggle with reading into some of your signs and things that you do, or especially for the fear of not wanting to frustrate you or upset you, I would generally not bring stuff up or get to a point where it boils over or whatever. So we'd been talking about, hey, maybe this will be a helpful way for us to even get stuff out there and talk about things without it maybe being too burdensome.
Serious. Like, it's still serious, but it's shared.
Yeah. um so on that, right? Why did we choose this name?
Because all the good ones are taken now. I don't know. Honestly, this one fits pretty well because neurodiverse people aren't given a script on how to live in a neurotypical world. We're just trying to fake it till we make it more than the neurotypicals. And like, sometimes, what's the word I'm looking for? And think of it. Whose line does? Improv. Improv is the best way to approach life.
Sure. I guess that really resonates with my ADHD because I never, like, being younger, like I never studied, right? But I still did good and not really great at planning. Not the biggest fan of planning. So this definitely resonates with me, and the fact that I do much better when things are scripted, I suppose.
And that's kind of funny.
Because then when they are scripted or like things are like super planned and they don't go to plan, my autism really kicks in. It's like, bro, oh, this is not okay. Things aren't going exactly the way they go.
Kind of funny because my autism is like, I need to plan everything out. And at least if it doesn't go my way, I've planned for the alternate, options for the scenario. It's like, okay, this is the ideal. Cool. I feel safe. I have control over this. And I've also kind of prepared for when things don't go my way.
Was there a time where you were, I guess, was there a time where you suspected that you have something?
Oh, God, yeah. As long as I can remember, I always felt like I was different from the other kids, despite, me being like the tomboy and everything, but like I always felt like there was just something off. Not like that I was dumber than everyone else, but like there was just something that was like wasn't normal by like everyone else's standards, and I just was like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I like this? But I kind of just rolled with it. What about you?
I, I yeah, I would say like I pretty much, maybe since like 4th or 5th grade, kind of started realizing like I knew I was like different or weird or whatever. I never knew exactly what it was. Um, as I got older, like I, especially with like taking therapy and knowing more about it, I realized it was masking. So I did really well with masking. That worked great for me.
Gold medals winners here for that.
Yeah. All right, yeah, but moving on, right? So what about maybe telling people a bit about ourselves, more specifically, like how how are we together?
Ours and a mutual friend is a short story, but it's wild. Old website, car domain. I had my little 90s priced out Civic on there. It was like my first car. Got rid of it, and then I got the 2006 Civic Si. And then one of the people on the website was doing a car meet that was local ish to me, and it was like, oh yeah, meet us, you know, we'll hang out, we'll have all these cars. Hung out. He and I became really close friends, and you know, I would hang out with my best friend and him. We'd all go get lunch, we'd go catch a movie even while he was at work, and then he would have his friend um you know, step in and, you know, watch stuff for him while me, my best friend, and him would hang out. And found out years later it was you that was covering for him.
Whatever. I mean, friends are for us supposed.
I mean, you could have introduced us sooner, but
He could have, but he chose not to.
what about
So
when you thought we were on our first date? What about when you thought I was going to kidnap you and have you murdered when I took you and Dusty to get I think it was cigarettes at the time.
yeah, so I guess for context, for folks that know, I grew up in Brooklyn, and you don't really go to New Jersey a lot as someone from Brooklyn, especially like kind of was considered the burbs. Anyways, I don't know, like you, instead of sending me to like the main street, you sent me to like a train track, abandoned train track with some like little rink-a-dink like
There you go.
bodega look. I wouldn't even call it. I don't know. See, like, is it a bodega in New Jersey?
We have bodegas in Jersey.
All bodegas.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. First tangent. Congratulations. First time for everything. Yeah, I don't know. It just felt sketch as hell because like there's not even, dude. There were no street lights.
There was one. It was by a park and the railroad track.
Yeah, where someone probably would get murdered. Yeah, I don't
Across the river, maybe.
listen, whatever. I didn't know that.
That was great. And then we went and we watched, it was Yes Man. And then went to get Taco Bell.
Mm.
And then we went and played pool.
Yeah.
Was our first date. I dragged you out under the guise of wanting to see your new sound system that you've got in your Civic.
Yeah. It was so cool. It's nice. Yeah, I mean, I guess I want to see you too, so it worked out. Why do you think we were able to like get along when we first met, stay together?
I think it's a mixture of different things. I think it's two of us are just genuine. I think it's the fact that we're both autistic. We've got that whole like blunt, this is what it is. Like we have a very similar humor, very similar interests. Like I guess also like that whole honeymoon phase that everyone goes through too. It's those hormones and it's like I think it's called oxytocin. But it like helps the bond form in the beginning for a lot of people, most people. And like I don't know, I think that had a lot of it. I think a lot of our traumas growing up and everything were similar. Our experiences growing up very similar. So it's like, oh, you get me. Like where a lot of other people didn't necessarily, not in a bad way. They just never experienced something quite like that. How did you not run away when you realized how insane I was?
I guess I mean, you know how it is, right? It's like, okay, well, who else is gonna tolerate my crazy? So I guess this is it. I always appreciated how I didn't really have to try very hard. right? So like I guess maybe being able to think back about it, you're always like masking. You can be around someone you don't really
Back to
do,
math.
then you actually get to relax.
That makes a lot of sense because it's exhausting to mask. When you finally realize that you're masking, you kind of get even more tired. At least when I was first diagnosed. That's what.
So we got diagnosed, married 15 years at that point when we
Yeah.
both got diagnosed. Did anything change
Yeah.
since diagnosed?
I would say a lot of things. Like, I have more of an understanding of why and how you tick the way you do. Like, it's a reason, not necessarily an excuse for a lot of your things. And like, now I understand why you and I can't build IKEA furniture together. You're more ADHD than I am autistic, and I need to have everything laid out very neatly, very orderly. And you're just like, let's rip this open and we'll get it done. Questions can be asked when there's an extra piece. Like,
What would you say is a tick of mine?
in what way?
Well, you said
Like, how, what makes you tick the way you do? Like, why you're more disorganized or more like quicker operating than me. Like, you are on like metaphoric speed compared to me with things.
welcome to ADHD being like 90%
The
of
predominant,
your
yeah,
problem, and then autism maybe being like 10.
yeah. Mine is the opposite.
Yeah, fun. So to that end, like, given such polar opposites,
How do we manage? I think it's because we still have AuDHD. We've experienced each other's things to some degree, just maybe not as strongly. At least for me, I try to be mindful for, myself and other people's experiences and be like, oh yeah, I've experienced this before. Like, they don't mean it. They're just not, conscious of what they're doing. Like, as annoyed as I am, I'm not going to hold it against them. And like, I'll try my best to be like, hey, slow it the fuck down for me. Like, your ADHD is ADHDing a little too much. My autism needs to autism a little bit more. But overall, like, I think it's, despite being incompatible with how we express our ADHD on paper, I think because we're mindful enough to recognize each other's lived experiences and shared experiences through that same diagnosis, we can be
Right.
like, okay, I get it now, especially now that we know what we have. Prior to that, it was way more difficult, at least for me, to be like, oh, that's such and such. And it's just, and I would be like, oh no, he's just being a slob. He's just being a jerk. He's just being whatever. Now it's like, oh no, his dopamine isn't getting where it needs to be. Like, this is too boring of a task for him, or like, whatever.
yeah, I would say probably have a very similar experience, like especially with therapy and autism. So I definitely think it helped me tolerant, for lack of better words.
Sense. When you were diagnosed at first, like, I know a lot of people go through a period of like grief and everything. I personally didn't. I went through a period of extreme validation and almost like justification for a lot of things. It felt disappointment that my parents didn't get me evaluated sooner when the signs were pretty obvious, but like, that was fleeting compared to like the justification. How did you handle it?
I actually I think pretty much the same way as you. Like I don't know, like I don't really
Because like a lot of people worry and almost mourn their former self. They feel like they're going to lose them once they get the diagnosis or even therapy or treatment for their ADHD or autism or anything like that. I personally was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I I more was curious and like interested in getting diagnosed than anything else. Like I don't I'm not really big into dwelling on the past. Like I can't change it. I rather focus on okay, cool, like how, what can I do differently or better. So that's really more where my mind was at. I was I think the biggest disappointment for me with that was just how much more difficult it would be to uh to do flying.
Mm.
But beyond that, I think everything else is whatever. Especially again, like I think what's what was helpful in the diagnosis is now being able to do stuff like this podcast, do stuff like walking more often or paying more attention to my body type stuff, where before I didn't really know what to do with any of that. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm thankful. So moving on a bit, what's still hard?
Acceptance, I guess, of my diagnosis by some people. Like, it's not as much, it's not like it's difficult. It's just like, come on, guys. Like, I feel like you're also denying what I have because you may have it and don't want to accept that you have it. And that's just more frustrating. And like, as far as like being difficult for me in life, I guess trying to catch up on the fatigue I've accrued from masking most of my life and learning how to no longer mask at times. What about you?
Uh, I think the big thing for me is probably where realizing that maybe medication like isn't always the solution type of deal, right? Like it's the combination of therapy and medication that I think really works well. And I wish I was maybe able to do that sooner, perhaps.
You can't
Um
rush something like that, though. It's such a long and honestly difficult at time process. It's something you need to be patient for, but understand that the reward at the end of it is so worth it. And like, you're gonna look back at yourself even like a few months later and be like, wow, holy crap. Like, didn't think I'd even be at this point.
so for folks that might be curious, what does marriage look like for us now?
I mean, it doesn't look much different than it did from day one. Like, we're still very much best friend. Well, a clumsy pair of best friends that are in love.
It used to
And
be a phone, huh?
it was just a phone. And it's full of compromise. It's full of ups and downs, disagreements. There's going to be tears of joy, tears of sadness. Like, I think now, after having had so many years together, so many different, you know, personal and even couples therapy sessions that we've had. Granted, we haven't had many of those, but like
How many have we had?
two or three,
Two.
two or three. And like, I feel like given that we've been more open to growing, like ourselves growing as people, and then being open to it, like we're more accepting of each other, we're more understanding of each other, and like I don't see our arguments as bad as, not even like our arguments are ever bad, but like,
Well, it's not. I don't beat you anymore.
yeah, no, you don't be. This is all a joke, by the way, guys. Like,
Gotcha.
no hands-on stuff here. If we're beating each other, it's gonna be in video games, but that's about it.
I've never beaten you in a
Couple times, but no, like, marriage now is trying to be as vulnerable and honest with each other as possible, and realizing that we're just humans at the end of the day. Like, we're gonna be flawed. We're gonna have days where we're gonna want to scream at the other one. We're gonna have days where we're gonna want to squeeze each other so hard that our spines pop out. Like, I think also because the two of us are in our own separate therapy, it's given us a lot more of a grounded view on things. Like, at least for me, our marriage is almost older than the oldest marriage in my family, other than my grandparents. Like, all the other relationships and marriages in my mom and dad's half did not last very long. We've pretty much almost outdone everyone. So, like, I feel like we're doing something right.
Well, I
And,
definitely did better than my mom's first.
like, I feel like we've had great role models on how not to have your marriage.
Yeah,
And
perhaps.
it's like, okay, we're just not going to do this.
Yeah, just do the exact opposite.
Do the exact opposite. And like, what would I have wanted? Because, like, I don't know. I remember as a kid, I'd be like, I didn't want a big marriage. I didn't want the big church thing, or like the big hall thing. And like, when we first got engaged and we were gonna do that, and we're like, I can't fill a hall of 50 people. I actually feel, or no, it was 100 people, not 50 people, like, of people that genuinely I want to share this moment with.
Yeah, I remember we were able to get 110 people, but
And
we
that was
kept
a
looking at the names, and
struggle.
we're just like, yeah, most of these people are
Acquaintances
Man,
at best.
yeah, wow. I'm just sorry. Like, I'm like, wow, I'm gonna sound like a dick, but
It
like
is what
a
it
lot of the
is.
people, like, it's not like I don't like them or anything like that. Obviously, right? Like, we were inviting them to our wedding,
That's the thing.
but
Like, we knew how much of an
I
inconvenience a
value
wedding is.
I more value like the closer shared experience that you can have with fewer people than trying to stretch yourself and like please 110 people. Like, I find that it's exhausting.
You know, I like that we have very much kicked every trend and tradition of our parents' generation with marriage and just kind of everything. Like, not even just us, but a lot of our generation was like, how about we just pause for a second, step back, and it's like, does this make sense? Like, do we really have to do this? I mean, there's plenty of other people that still do like the traditional marriages, spend a lot of money and everything. And like, if that's what they want, that's what they want. But like,
Yeah.
just was never our thing.
Yeah. I think to wrap up the quote unquote marriage segment, whatever you call it, I think the thing that I'm probably most proud of with our marriage is that because of our experiences and like being able to direct with each other, I think has made certain things easier. Where like I don't know how to dance around things, so I just bluntly tell you.
And that's the thing, like, I know that you're not always the best with words, and I know that you just need to get the words out, and we'll hash out what were the more appropriate words later.
So I'm really proud of the fact that so many folks then come and ask us like for advice. Like, I'm just a stupid gene, but happy to help, right? And I feel a lot of it boils down to just it's really difficult, I think, for a lot of people to just I I qualify with just because for me it is easy, but I think for a lot of people it's not easy to honest with their partner, and it's really difficult to get certain things out.
I mean, let's be real. We ourselves will struggle with that. We ain't perfect either. We've gotten better.
Yeah, for sure.
We've gotten absolutely better with that, but like, we are definitely not perfect with that.
I would say the one caveat or the one clarification thing from my point of view is that I lost my train of thought. How funny is that?
I mean, it's perfect.
Um, yeah, it's fine. We'll just move on. Let's instead move on to, like, so we talked about, we introduced ourselves, talked a little bit about marriage. Let's maybe talk about podcast.
Okay.
What is this podcast?
To me, I guess I would say this podcast, first and foremost, is just for us to work on our communication and just being open about everything in our marriage and just stuff going on, having a good time, killing time, and like sharing our knowledge and experiences with others in hopes that they can hopefully get, at the very least, a laugh out of some of our stories and situations, because there's going to be plenty to laugh at. That's for sure.
Unless you're me on my birthday.
I mean, listen, my
Then
birthday's cursed too.
We're almost dead. Anyways,
I saved you.
yeah, sure did. You did save my life. Probably multiple times.
That's the only one I can immediately come to mind.
But that one was a genuine, like, I probably would have died, especially if I wasn't.
The vest that I made you wear, the life vest that I made you wear, yeah.
Life.
I don't mess with water. That I respect it enough to know that you don't mess with it.
So to that end, this podcast, us going on weird, random, talking about stuff that we like, travel, or video games,
Cars, cooking, baking.
cars, yeah, eating. I like to eat.
Food
I'm
is good.
fat. I like talking shit about Washington, the state.
Yeah. I mean, DC's fair game too, but Washington State is kind of up there.
10 out of 10 would poop on.
Great to visit, but not to live in if you're from places like where we're from.
But we'll save that. We'll save that, I think. So, yeah, basically talking about our experiences, going on tangents.
A window into our everyday lives, basically, in a way.
Sometimes advice, sometimes guests, sometimes taking questions.
And more than most likely, at some point, pets, photo bombing, video bombing our podcast at some point.
Cool. Yeah, and then obviously what we're not going to do. It wasn't here. We are absolutely not professionals. It's not for therapy.
We are not here to replace therapy or psychiatry or medication.
Not here to help you fix anything. Not here to sing for you. Can't do that. So really, it's talk about whatever we want to talk about every two weeks, and kind of go on from there.
And if there's anything that anyone would like to see us cover, just let us know. Whether it's topics or questions you want us to answer, like, at least for me, I'm an open book. As long as it's not a credit card or social security number.
How to find it?
Well, we will have many socials that we will link to, and you can view us live when we start getting the swing of things.
You have a website?
Well, then plug our website for them, love.
Oh yeah, I get to do that now.
Yeah, you get to advertise.
Yeah, so the website is the letters. Because typing all those words would probably be a lot.
And let's be real, Neuro-Spicy people don't have the time or memory to deal with all of that. At least I don't.
No. So, actually, if anything, maybe there's like magic way to push the website to everyone. That way they can just see it without having to actually go to anything or do anything. Barcode.
I mean, you're the tech one. You're the smart one. I'm the hands-on.
I don't know. That's a future Gene problem, quite frankly. Yeah, I think it's time for a tangent.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I feel like it's been pretty serious. Well, not too serious. Serious. No.
Okay.
I have nothing. I like how you looked at me. You're like, "Oh, you have some." No, I have nothing. Absolutely. I mean, I was hoping that I would be able to spontaneously come up with something, which I absolutely can do if need be. And I already have a couple of things in my back pocket, just in case. So I've already come up with them. So
Okay.
I'm not stalling that.
No, not at all.
No, I promise.
Okay.
But was there? I mean, do you have a topic?
Not that I can think of at the moment. I'm still fried from cooking yesterday.
So what did you cook for New?
So I made chicken paprikash with homemade gnocchi, which is like an egg pasta. And then I made a brigadeiro tart, which is like a chocolate fudge pie and like a graham cracker crust. So I got Hungarian food and Brazilian food all in one table. Oh, and I made a charcuterie board that was a dick, which was probably my finest work of art.
I guess once we're done it, probably
Yeah,
throw in some
we'll
pictures
throw
or
a
something.
picture of that charcuterie
But
board.
I mean, why is it not a charcuterie?
Because I'm not as smart and edgy as you.
I didn't come up with that.
I mean, I can only come up with so many dick things in a given amount of time. I had the board. I came up with the idea for Richard. Like, Richard is a 8-inch rainbow dildo that I use for self-defense, and that is not a joke. And it's a 10 out of 10 success rate. And also 5 out of 5 mental health professionals recommend this method.
Everybody should have their own rainbow.
I 100% agree, because there's no better way to de-escalate a hostile situation than angrily waving a massive rainbow dildo in the air at somebody.
So we've had this conversation before. The whole get Richard.
Oh yeah, no. I think, yeah.
I feel like I want to revisit the business idea. It's very compliant with my ADHD right now. Of, oh yeah, cool. Like this seems
little
fantastic.
side quest.
You find someone to make a bunch of silicone dildos, and they just basically
brand them with Richard.
With the Richard name. They're all rainbow or whatever.
See if we can add googly eyes or something to them. Yeah,
maybe we get a little googly eyes and ship them directly to the customer. I don't know, $29.99. Like dude, we're all gonna make a killing.
I mean, I've been seeing more and more people using dildos and waving them at people in traffic and stuff. It's been warming my heart because of that.
Probably because someone saw me on Instagram or TikTok. Dude.
Either one of us, because we've used it so many times.
I mean, it's great.
It's safer than carrying a gun or a knife, and it psychologically damages a person, which is much longer lasting than physical violence. And it's more legal. Actually, it's entirely legal.
I'm not.
Waving a dildo at somebody is not illegal.
Just yeah, okay, I guess.
Especially if you hit yourself on the head with it. You're only hitting yourself, you're not hitting someone else.
Oh, so you just proposing like you take Richard and you start banging yourself with Richard and you just say, stop hitting me.
No, what is wrong with you? You see this?
Huh?
It's something like that. I mean, listen, it's gonna scare them. One thing I've absolutely learned When confronted with crazy, out crazy.
How crazy the crazy? Fair?
No one wants to challenge that.
No. No, I don't think any. Well, I mean, unless.
Unless they're genuinely crazy, but you can usually tell.
No. Yeah. Especially when they don't know what their own crazy limits are. It could be really bad. Oh well. Let's never have that.
I'm pretty sure most people see us going at them with a rainbow dildo, they're either going to laugh or they're going to be so terrified that they peel out, which has been the reactions that we have had every time.
I'm usually driving and focused on the road for safety.
I usually mostly stop and scare someone. Or like if I'm followed. The whole reason I got it in the first place. I want to go to jail for stabbing somebody that followed me.
Probably call the police.
In Washington, they didn't do anything. I might as well have been calling a wall.
Oh. Well.
Remember, misdemeanors aren't punishable offenses unless there is a cop to witness it.
Right.
So,
yeah.
In Washington State.
Yeah.
So it would have been useless.
Yeah, but you could have carried there, and you chose not to.
For everyone's safety, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason I didn't get the knife either, and I chose the dildo. I figured for everybody's safety, it was best that I just carried around a rainbow dildo instead of an actual weapon. Trying to be a responsible nut job. Also, it's much more fun.
How did we even get on this?
You're talking about the charcuterie board.
Oh, right. Wow. Well,
I mean, it was a tangent. There you go. You wanted tangents.
That one went all around the cock. Not through it.
Not. Albert. What were your tangent topics? Or did you forget them?
Yes. No. Well, I kind of took us on one, right? So now I feel like I'm being put on the spot to
you have to
basically deliver twice, and I don't know if I'm capable. No, so my brother just visited, and out really good pizza.
Yes.
And I still feel pretty full from it.
I didn't eat as much as you because I knew that I was going to regret it if I had as much as you. And now I'm absolutely going to enjoy leftovers for dinner.
In hindsight, I probably had 3 people's worth of pizza.
I think I wasn't paying too much
attention. Well, not
attention
pizza, but food.
Yeah, food. I think I had most of my slice and a bite or two of the chicken roll. Good. Nice to be back in a place where real pizza exists.
Yeah. Yes. It is. Yeah. Oven.
Just missed everything.
I definitely gained like 10 pounds.
I've been good. I've only gained 3. Can't say anything about my cholesterol, though. That's a whole other story. All right, we've more or less gorged ourselves on all of the food we hadn't been able to get in the last almost 8 years. So now Now we can go back to eating like normal-ish adults, and we'll be on the mend.
Yep. We gotta learn to pace ourselves.
I mean, you're just mostly a bad influence.
I need to stop.
I have no problem cooking dinner, but you're like, oh, let's get pizza. And it's like, I can't say no to pizza.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
It's
really
like
bad.
trying to offer, you know what? No, I'm not gonna. It's like trying to offer Jackson, our cat, treats and like expect him to not be a fiend for more if you only give him one.
So now that we're kind of getting towards the end of the podcast, on in the episode, let's maybe kind of take a step back, right? Like, we have this podcast that we're doing every 2 weeks. It's going to be about random stuff that we want to talk about that feel good. It's for people that maybe married and have questions, late diagnosed, Neuro-Spicy, folks that also live their life scripted, that want to listen to us bullshit about stuff. What might people be able to expect in our future episodes?
I definitely want to cover like mental health and like, the importance of taking care of it, even if you don't have anything wrong with you, like, and try and lessen people's stigma that they have towards it, and even neurodivergent like diagnoses. People are like, oh my god, you're autistic, you don't seem autistic. And it's like, might be autistic, you don't even know, like, what does autistic look like to you, like, genuinely? And like, why is that something that people are like so freaked out about?
Well, because Ethan, my brother's kind of reaction, right, was like, guys have autism, have ADHD, you don't ever look like it. And it's like,
I mean, where does this come from? I mean, it's how they used to portray these people in media back in the day, even say back in the day, but the 80s and 90s.
so definitely want to cover stuff like burnout and recovery. Executive dysfunction is a big deal for me. Definitely need to talk about airplane. It's an awesome story of how you went from literally being petrified of planes, refusing to step on one.
I mean, I stepped on them unwillingly, but
Well, refusing to step on one willingly, and to the point where now I think there's certain things that that I don't think I even know.
I don't know about that. At least with airplane crash investigations, maybe, because I like true crime and stuff, and I see a lot of parallels and stuff.
I think that's another great topic, great tangent topic, all the true crime stuff. But yeah, as I said before, travel, planes, games, we're gonna have guests, we're gonna have pets, food, random tangent. So this resonated with folks. Probably follow us.
I would think.
Yeah.
At the very least, like I said, there's going to be stories where you can laugh at our expense.
All right, yeah, definitely share this episode.
I was gonna say, at the very least, we helped ourselves grow. But
we'll see folks.
Yep, stay spicy, my friends.